So it looked like we were doing the reading. Are we on? Yeah. Hello, welcome to the Ghost Town Poetry Open Mic. Oh, yes, that's it. A couple of announcements. One is that because we go long, last time there was a little bit of scrambling just to make sure that the folks next door were able to close up the way they need to and close out people's tabs and stuff. So we're just going to encourage people to, if you're going to have a tab, just try to make sure you take care of it by 10 or so, and that should work. And if you can, just take care of it right away, and that would be easier for everybody. These are the Ghost Town Happy Hour specials for tonight. I'm going to just flash it for about a minute here, and then it'll be next door if you want to go by. But this was an idea I had, and Leah Jackson agreed with me that it would be great to have a few specials every time we do this. So you could get any of these items at some point tonight, and be nice to those hot, sweaty, and very helpful guys next door. There's a little bit of both here. There's some food selections and some drink selections here. Okay. And now Tony is going to have a few words.
First of all, I am so excited to make this announcement, and for those of you who have been on the Printed Matter Vancouver site or been on Facebook, you probably have already seen this. And for those who haven't, I hope you'll be as excited as I am about this. We are doing a call for submissions, for poetry submissions to the residents of Clark County, Washington. There will be poems beginning in January of 2016 on 110 C-Tran buses. Yay. So C-Tran, the Arts of Clark County, the Clark County Arts Commission and Printed Matter Vancouver are sponsoring this endeavor. The poems will be no more than 7 lines. We have a deadline of September 1, and we have all of the information on these handy-dandy, is this called goldenrod, this color? On the goldenrod sheets, which will be at the back of the room. We encourage everyone who has been writing poetry, or is just beginning, or has been published, or any configuration, if you would like to submit to this poetry contest and take a chance of getting one of your poems on the C-Tran buses. The great thing is, the poems will remain on the buses for 6 months. It's really great. And then once we go through the first round, phase 2 will be student poems from the Poets in the Schools project. So we're really excited. We know there'll be at least a full year's length of poetry on our C-Tran buses, and we're hoping it becomes a permanent thing.
You spread yourself around beyond Clark County, like for instance with poets from elsewhere. Is this just for Clark County residents?
Yes, it's for Clark County residents because it is on the C-Tran buses here in Clark County. So that's what it's been limited to at this point in time. Be nice at some point if we just went whoop, and opened the whole thing up, but for the first year we'll do the open call for residents, and then the second call will be for students of Clark County. So anyway, so I will mosey these to the back of the room, and if you would like to think about this, all the details that you need for submitting your poems will be on this sheet. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. So thanks to Arts of Clark County for helping out with that. And we're excited to see what comes in. I think it's going to be great. I've been riding buses for years, and both in New York and also in Portland, being able to see some poetry while you're in the middle of your commute or just wherever you're headed, it can really change your whole day. So I'm glad that's going to happen here. So as I do, I'm going to begin with a poem by someone else. And sadly, we lost our friend George Vartanian, who was a big part of the community downtown here in Vancouver. He's someone that you could find almost every Saturday night at one of the stools next door at Niche, and really involved in the community in different ways. And so I wanted to read a poem for him, just to sort of dedicate this reading to our friend George, who we miss. This is from a book called Fuck You, Cancer, and Other Poems by Rick Fields. And this poem is called No. I can't stand it anymore. I can't stand it anymore. Pure explosion of rage, Big Bang, primordial fury, atoms of anger exploding, streaming out from chest, lungs, screaming photons, light. You don't turn the light off in the bathroom. Critical voice. You don't, no, stop. I can't stand it. No, the great no, the primordial no. I don't want to stay, I want to go. You don't couch me. You don't love me. No, I scream, yell, shout, bellow. No, I don't love you. No, great no, primordial no. I don't love you. No, cosmic no. Let the light go. Fury, spew forth photons. Boiling stars, molten, Big Bang, blinding flash of light, out of darkest, deepest no. A universe, a child is torn, no is born. That's for you, George. And we will begin another kind of tradition here at Ghost Town is to allow our videographer, we're very grateful to, for documenting these events, to go first so she can go back to what she's doing to help us document this event. And so please say hello to Tiffany Berger-Strand.
Thank you. So I have 3 poems tonight. The first one I actually wrote in January. I just finished editing, so it's called Wisdom of the Moon. She sits at a table by herself, orders an Irish coffee to warm her from the bitter cold outside. Party of 1 on a Friday night. She realizes this could be her future. Meals for 1, experiences solo, followed by nights alone. When she looks at the time ahead, she feels sadness, a deep longing that has been with her throughout her life. This loneliness is a strange comfort, like an old friend you don't see often, but know is there. The crooners spelled songs of love and romance over the speakers in the restaurant. She sits haunted. She wonders why she orders her burger without onions. Does she not like them, or is this a habit from her earlier days? Men don't appreciate onions on women's breath. Shave your legs before going out. Carry lipstick, concealer, and mascara. Have feminine wipes, just in case sex happens. Always wear the good bra and panties. With age, these things become less of a concern. No big if you don't shave your legs. Helps prevent random sex with strangers. Makeup touch-ups are highly unlikely. She recalls those adventures in her 30s, the passion that was waiting around every corner. Years of bad relationships sit like flies on shit. She shoos them away, but they always come back. The salt from her fries makes her lips tingle, reminds her of the time her lover's lips triggered the same response. At least I have the memory, she thinks to herself as she finishes her drink. If nothing else, I'd have those to keep me warm as age steals heat from my skin. Anyway, I had amazing lovers, romantic weekends filled with nights of sensual lovemaking. If only contentment didn't strangle her, if only settling felt better than longing, if only it was enough to be still in this moment. Let it go, the moon whispers. He is coming for you, and will be a big love. This intimacy will be all that you have written about, sang to me in the hot months of August, and all you have not spoken, but resides with your eyes and broad smile. Wait with me as winter turns to spring. He is coming, waits in the shadows, within your loneliness and within your tears. He is already in your heart. You know his touch, his voice, and the rhythm of his heart. Just stay with me, the moon reassures her. His fullness, the one constant reminder to believe in what she wants. Trust what your heart feels. Trust what your thoughts tell you. Eat the onions, for real love would never for 1 minute hesitate to kiss your lips. And this next one I actually wrote as I was waiting for my plane to leave from New York to Portland. It's called Sibling Reunion. Arrival. My arrival came, bright eyes, pressed hair, and my face painted. I arrived to New York, fresh picked like the cherry blossoms on the trees in the Portland streets. 3 days of nonstop whiskey, conversation, men, and salty meat. Departure. Depleted, whiskey hangover, stomach holds a single bagel, my eyes are puffy from tears, retention of water sits in my fingertips. I am exhausted as I say goodbye to my brothers and my sister. I say goodbye to new friends, my eyes barely able to take the brightness as the sun reflects on mounds of snow. This time the city won. I fall to my knees and beg for a smooth flight home. And this last poem is for a young man that I actually met in New York, and we've had an instant connection, and it's kind of amazing when you're open to people that come into your life. So this is called Meet Me Where I Last Left You, and this is for Shane. Meet me where I last left you. Meet me on the city streets where the snow was stacked and the winter air chilled our bones. Meet me down the street from Cat's Deli, where we conversed through text as I ate salty pastrami with my brothers. Meet me back in that bar where we did the dance as you look and smile and turn away. Where I look, smile, and act as though I'm engaged in the conversation at my table. Meet me back in that moment that your lips pressed against mine and you asked for my number. Meet me back where you gave me that hug with those kisses as my sister took our picture. Meet me in that moment so I can spend more time getting to know you. I can't get back to you, so meet me where I last left you, where you last kissed me. Meet me back where I last felt my heart.
Thanks, Tiffany. And next we will hear from Jean Elder Wolf. Welcome.
Thank you. Can you hear me? This is an opportunity for anyone who wants to do something really fine for a writer. She is 83 years old, and 2 years ago she suddenly and drastically, unexpectedly lost her vision. She can't see light. She's totally blind. She also has something which she says is actually more troublesome than the blindness, which is her circadian rhythm is disrupted, and she is having a hard time sleeping. She lies awake and writes poems, and the problem that she has, the way that I met her, is she needed someone to help her make those poems presentable for publication. And she had a hard time finding anybody who could do that for her, because they thought that they needed to tinker with the poems and add commas and so on. And that really shook her confidence, and confidence in her situation is hard to come by, but she is doing really well at that. And I am working with her. It took us 10 hours to develop the process that we now know and feel good about, so that she can see the poem that as it's going to go out to an editor. That was what we were after, and we figured out how to do that. And I can help anybody else who wants to help her that way. She's a highly educated, intelligent person, and she is very isolated and very much in need of I won't say companionship, intellectual stimulation. She's in a group home in Meadowglade, and I live in Battleground, and that's how I happen to be the one to help her. Her name is Carolyn Wynn, and this is a very interesting adventure that I've embarked on, but I have a lot of other work to do, and she and I both really need help. So, this poem, our trial run, is called Dragon, and this was the first poem that she wrote when she became blind. She didn't do it right away. She had a lot of bridges to cross first, but now she's lying there in the dark, and she's memorizing and recording the next day on her own. Dragon. 1. The dragon wants to know why he is he and I am me. We listen. 2. Today it's bicycles. The dragon wants one. I can do it. I know I can, he tells me. All I need are special pedals. He eyes me up and down, then slowly sinks beneath the squash leaves. 3. I meet the dragon on the dot of 10. He lolls across the asparagus bed. I sit above him on the porch. Good job, he says. You're safe up there. I don't do steps. I don't eat flesh. But I am so alarmingly big. Shall we begin? He wants to know where and when and who and why and how and what. I sip my tea and do my best. I have questions too, like who he is and where he's from. Tomorrow, maybe. 4. Because he glows, his back, his front, his head, his toes. I see him coming. Wow, you glitter, you glisten, you gleam. Hey, you polished your scales. I swam, he shrugs. You didn't. I did. You can't. You don't know how. All animals swim, you know. Just throw us in and off we go. He pulls a carrot and gives it a chomp. Except giraffes, he adds. Too tall, I think, don't you? 5. The dragon stops to say goodbye. Hello, hello, guess what? He calls. I'm off to see the world. Tra-la, tra-lee, ho, ho. No, no, I cry, they'll track you down. They'll tie you up, they'll fence you in. Stay here, stay here. The dragon looks perplexed. Can't catch what you can't see. Can't see. I laugh. Nobody sees me, they don't know how. Don't be silly, I stamp my foot. I see you plain as day. Absolutely, he agrees. You're here, I'm here. You go, I go. So where do you go, I ask. Oh, here and there and hither and yon. Right now I'm off to see the world. He prances left, he prances right. He does a splendid twirl. He smooths his scales with what I think are his thumbs and taps me on the arm. You want to come?
Thanks, Jane. And if there's anyone that wants to be connected with her so they can help that person, I would be happy to facilitate that.
Please, yes.
And of course, you could speak to Jane before you leave here tonight if you're interested too. And next we're going to hear from Doug Westberg.
yeah. Supposed to be easy. Okay, this is a song I wrote about 38 years ago, and I thought about it the other day and went looking through all my manuscripts and couldn't find a sketch of it or anything. And I found an old tape, and it took me 3 or 4 tries to find a machine that would actually play the tape, but I was able to rescue it from oblivion. So it's called Now That It All Belongs to Him. One of these days before I die, I'd like to live all of this time. Life passed me by as through a sieve. Now I've got no place to hide, scared to live and tired of dying inside. Strange to be told to die to live before I die. All of this time I lived to die, so lost was I. Wonders I should live to see. I don't have another death in me. I forfeited my life by trying to die, a life that wasn't ever really mine. A drunken eagle trying to move the sky. I fly. Now that it all belongs to Him, He gives it back. Mended my wings and there's the sky, no longer black. Now it almost seems unfair, finding out that there's a world out there. I forfeited my life by trying to deal a life that wasn't ever really real. A storm-tossed sailing ship without a wheel or keel. Now that it all belongs to Him, I have no fear. Sails full of wind, the sea is calm, the seagulls appear. there be such thing as peace of mind. Now it almost seems unkind. I could hope to have a quiet Thank you very much.
Raise your hand, please, if there's an empty chair next to you. We have a lot of people standing in the back. So come on up and
There's one right next to
one
David
over
here.
here.
We're going to be able to bring out more chairs, but because of how many people are in the back, we're going to have to wait until the breakout just to bring them up because they're coming from downstairs. Okay. All right, and next we're going to hear from Alex. Come on up, Alex.
All right, so tonight I'm going to read something I've read before, but I've sort of decided to continue the story and try my hand at making a collection all about one person. So you've heard before of the person named Roy, so I'm going to expand a little bit more about Roy's life. Mother and father. "She has a huge head," said Mother. The three-headed nurse nodded in agreement. "Her branches are so long and thick, almost like antlers," said Father. "Her bark is still smooth like a sapling's," said Mother. "What should we name her?" "Daughter, why are you playing in the dirt?" asked Mother. "Little girls shouldn't play in the dirt." "I'm digging a big canyon like the ones on Mars," I said. "What do you want to be when you grow up, daughter?" "I want to be a husband and a daddy." Mother scoffed. She left rage-filled messages on the neighbors' answering machines and drove her pill-filled car into the bay. "You can't take another girl to the dance," shouted Father. "Girls shouldn't go to dances with other girls." "But her lips are ripe raspberries," I said. Father shook his head and grabbed 6 beers from the fridge, drank them down while he packed his bags. Father sipped silent, awake drunk in the dark, said nothing when I returned, turned stone and crumbling by morning. And this is the one I've read before, but it sort of fills in between the two new ones. The girl named Roy. There is a girl who lives in a row house in San Francisco with her aunt. The girl had always hated her name, so she decided to change it. She liked some names like Ruth and Robin, but they weren't quite right. She wanted a name to match her vision of herself, brave, direct, royal. She dreamed of being a king, ruling a nation. She chose the name Roy. Roy isn't like most girls, or most people for that matter. Her skin is tree bark. She struggles against her Daphne exterior, pulling up her roots with each step. Lichens and insects live along her branches and trunks. Birds nest in her hair. Her aunt tells her how beautiful she is. I know, I am oak. Roy wants to leave the city and live with the redwoods. She is so small, but her dexterous twig fingers yearn to touch the sky. Her knuckles knot themselves into fists. Her aunt is sick. Her organs bow and break. Her muscles bow under their own weight. Their bodies are mirrors. Her aunt's hair falls out. Roy shaves off her own. Her aunt gets a double mastectomy to remove the cancer growing within her. Roy has her breasts removed to lift the weight off her chest. The two smoke joints together to smooth over the roughness in and on their bodies. Roy injects testosterone into her thighs while her aunt dies. Roy isn't like most boys. His skin is tree bark, grown thicker with each passing year. And this one is called Into the Redwoods. Roy broke into 6 different ATMs. He didn't need the money because his aunt had left him with enough to get by on, but he couldn't help himself. He was angry that she was gone, and he was angry that his hair was still long. The funeral took priority. It was in the cold quiet that Roy finally saw his resemblance to his aunt. The tumors under her blanched paper skin were burls. Her house and her trinkets were her roots and leaves. And even though Roy hated his tangled mane, it was the same color and length of his aunt's before she was diagnosed. Roy inherited it all. He left it all. He left all of the money, not the money from the ATMs, and a shelter for homeless queer saplings. He grew 60 feet and carried his aunt, small wooden bird, across the dying waters of the bay. He carried her to the redwoods. In the redwoods, Roy was among true giants. The sequoias looked at him with their seed-cone eyes. One of the smaller trees, a dawn redwood, looked at Roy and saw the long hair, the cupped hands, and the wads of cash stuffed into his socks. The tree hiked up its roots and skirted off. Dawn redwoods are notoriously empathetic. In the wake of the tree's root ball was a craterous home. Roy was crying but kept his tears inside, away from the eyes of the trees. He tied a length of hair into a large knot and chewed off the longer end of the strand. He wrapped his dear aunt in the lock. He cradled her onto the moist soil. He planted every bill he had stolen from the 6 ATMs around her. There is a question of what to say at a funeral in the presence of redwoods. But when one of their own falls and no one is around to hear it, none make a sound.
Hey, please say hello to Bob Sunshine. Bob here. There he is.
I hear you.
Yes.
10 Commandments. Human laws. Golden calf opens jaws. Tablets broken at first glance. Man deserves a second chance. No way. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, QRSTUWXYZ backwards. ZYXWV How's he gonna mess this up? Edgar Allan Poe. If he wrote The Raven today in the bathtub, the first verse only. Once upon the midnight dreary, while I download weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten porn, while I nodded nearly coming suddenly, there came a humming as of someone gently grinding at my chamber door. "'Tis some vibrator," I muttered, grinding at my chamber door. Only this, and nothing more. That's old news, old. One more. If you can only do one more, I gotta do the poems I wrote today. Enjoy. Huh? No one here seems to complain. Nearest hospital, fast lane. Increased heat, covered mood swing. Marching band played everything. Picture day, no idea meant. Decades later, worn and bent. Only one name I remember. That's me in front, as per. The last one, enjoy. Thank you very much. This is wonderful venue. Last one. This is the last one I wrote today. Fence with hole. Dog. Fence with hole. Dog will escape. Ghost in house. Upset God's shape. Problem child of caveman clubbed. Man before Christ. Syllabub. Thank you very much.
Now we have Ian Katie.
I don't know how I can follow that up.
Awesome. You're about to.
That was awesome. Let's hear it for Bob Sunshine. That was fucking awesome. I don't know what the fuck that was, but it was awesome. Alright, this is from my friend Wong Boon. He sent me an acceptance letter that I got a piece published in his journal. He's got a journal called the Perfume River Poetry Review, and so I got accepted in that. And with the acceptance letter, he also sent one of his poems that he wrote. And so he's fantastic. His stuff. It's called Villanelle for a Dry Summer. I belong to. The Chinese say that to grow a garden is to grow bliss. Even this year of drought, when roses droop and pout, I have created an Eden among summer's dry abyss. It's not much. Pots of herbs and berries, a vine of clematis, a tomato plants, a towering sunflower I grew from a sprout. The Chinese say that to grow a garden is to grow bliss. My neighbor's garden has gone completely brown and crisp. He insists during drought years we must learn to live without. But I have created an Eden among summer's dry abyss. I am not growing the garden of Versailles. I only ask for bits of color, a bloom, a berry, something miraculous from this drought. The Chinese say that to grow a garden is to grow bliss. This morning, a hummingbird flew among the flowers and kissed each bloom. I watched his jewel-like iridescence as he flew about. I have created an Eden among summer's dry abyss. I have found paradise in the morning dew and mists. In my small garden, its flowers defy life's hopelessness and doubt. The Chinese say that to grow a garden is to grow bliss. I have created an Eden among summer's dry abyss. Thanks.
Okay, please say hello to Edie. Come on up, Edie.
So it's my understanding I can make an announcement right before I read. Yes. I'm going to be reading at the Legion Readers Showcase at the American Legion Hall on 2104 North East Alberta. It's catty corner from Salt and Straw Ice Cream. And it's Wednesday the 15th, so it's next Wednesday night at 7 p.m. The theme is hell, and I'll be reading a short excerpt from my novel in progress. So if you want to come down. They have really strong pours, really cheap drinks, and it benefits the veterans. It's free to get in, so.